So, what's going on in politics from a bird's eye perspective in the greater scheme of things? From the get, this is the get, by the way, this is where it all started. Everything we call Western politics, democracy, and so on. Now, these two are about to ascend to the throne of England after their glorious revolution. And for some reason, these are their faces. Oh my God, he is literally clutching his pearls. Why is that? Well, that will be because of this guy. He is reading the Bill of Rights to their sad faces, including the following stipulation. You will sign these rights into law, or the closest you will ever get to this crown is looking at it in a painting. Sad. And that's the setup. The closest the world has ever come empirically to something like a social contract. Let's keep the people and power apart from both directions. Direction one is what we just saw. Exertions of power over the people are channeled and thereby reduced in arbitrariness. And direction two, well, that has actually always been there. Let's keep the people away from the levers of power. And instead, they get all the things state-organized power provides. Beautiful. Worked like a charm. Until. Well, if you need the people so close to the levers of power that you have to give them rifles to kick out another power, it's kind of hard to put the toothpaste back into the tube. Yet, those rifles are still out there. And so, by the time of the Constitutional Convention, the distrust in the masses reached a new high. Oh, I bet. So how do you pull and keep the people away from power? Because, let's face it, mankind, left to themselves, are unfit for their own government, says a man of the people. So what do? Well, in the words of the father of the Constitution, words that clearly were not meant for publication, divide and rule. The reprobated, the hated axiom of tyranny is, under certain qualifications, the only policy by which a republic can be administered on just principles. That's right, you divide them, literally, meaning spatially, because after the Constitution shifted certain vital government duties to a polity that combined the territory of all 13 states, grassroots efforts to pressure elected officials would rarely acquire that essential ingredient of political power, unity. Meaning in a country that takes weeks to traverse, the following foundational and quasi-mathematical problem solves itself. Whatever facilitates a general intercommunication of sentiments and ideas among the body of the people is equivalent to a contraction of the orbit within which the government is to act. That zero-sum game between power and the people communicating is won by spreading them all over the place. Genius. Worked like a charm. Until. This is Samuel Morse, and here's what happened. The Telegraph freed communication from the constraints of geography, well, thank God, freedom of the telegraph is guaranteed only to those who own one. So, a century later, we're still on track. If we examine the system of political institutions which have existed in the United States since the founding of our government, and to which we have given the name democracy, we must frankly admit that at no time have the people actually occupied the seat of sovereign authority. Few. However, human technology is just the extension of the human mind, and that is uncontrollable. So, with the car, the phone, aviation, and so on, here is a government report from 1975 on the state of politics, kind of what we're doing here. Oh my God, it's titled The Crisis of Democracy. That can't be good. So, what's going on? The problems of governance in the United States today stem from an excess of democracy. I knew it. Needed, instead, is a greater degree of moderation in democracy. The democratic expansion of political participation and involvement has created an overload on government. The effective operation of a democratic political system usually requires some measure of apathy and non-involvement. Get it, people? Stay away from government, stay away from power, stop getting involved, stop communicating. Well, did they? Of course not. As you can see, this is just a couple of years before Al Gore invented the internet. I know he didn't say that. Still funny. So that's where we're at. That's the state of politics. And the important part is to understand what that means, the ramifications. Because the latter are not anomalous. They follow directly from this. This was the social contract. And with the people clearly not holding up their end of the bargain, power reverts life to literally the before state. And that's how you get the loneliness epidemic, the affordability crisis, the health crisis, insane levels of violence, and a declining life expectancy. Man, I wish someone could put all of that into more concise words. Oh, they did. And there you have it. That's what's going on in politics. And hold on, there's an appendix. Because you see, there is actually one way power can shore itself up without going directly against the people. And that's by, instead of using fault lines domestically, doing it abroad. Genius. And given the state of things, from the perspective of power, that factor is not just a gold mine, it's a lifeline. Meaning, in this general setup, we can expect that factor to never go away. If anything, its opposite will go away. Thanks for watching.